All right, Dato'. Thank you. Dr. Amjad, you ready?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay. Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to those joining us from Malaysia. Good day to those joining us from other countries. So welcome to our webinar by the Institute of Marketing Malaysia, Quantum Marketing, an Approach for Today's Customer for Tomorrow's World, by Associate Professor Dr. Amjad Shamim, Associate Professor and Program Manager, MBA EM, University Technology Petronas, UTP. So I am Hani Maisara. I will be your host for today. Before we begin, I would like to share some rules to ensure smooth and effective communication for our webinar. In number one, this webinar will be recorded. The recording and the slides will be shared with IMM members if requested. Number two, we will keep your microphones muted during the session to avoid background noise. Number three, please submit your questions and comments through the chat box. Number four, you can submit questions at any point during the webinar and our team will collect all questions submitted by you during the session. Number five, if the speaker opens for questions during the session, you may unmute yourself and wait for your turn to speak. And lastly, when asking questions, please remember to introduce your name and organization. Okay, everyone, as usual, to commemorate this webinar, we would like to take a group photo. So we would appreciate if everyone could please switch on their cameras for this occasion. Thank you. So we're going to give everyone a few moments to switch on their cameras. Everyone, please switch on your cameras for our group photo. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, one more. Can I have a thumbs up? Oh, okay, now a lot of people are switching on their cameras. Okay, thumbs up, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Very cute. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Okay. Now, before we begin, please allow me to introduce our speaker for today. So, Associate Professor Dr. Amjad is a Program Manager for the MBA in Energy Management and a Senior Lecturer in Marketing at University Technology Petronas, UTP. A Certified Professional Marketer, CPM Asia, he has delivered more than 30 professional trainings in value co-creation, negotiation, service thinking, and marketing analytics. Dr. Amjad has published over 30 international journal articles and secured 7 research grants worth USD 84,000. His expertise spans value co-creation, service-dominant logic, brand experience, and neuromarketing. Now, everyone, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Amjad. Dr. Amjad, the screen is yours.
All right, thank you so much, Hani, for the introduction. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon. Right, it's afternoon now, just 9 minutes past. Okay, so let me share my screen, and I hope that you can see it. Okay, give me a second so that I can. Okay, so is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right, okay. So thank you so much, first of all, Dr. Sharifa, for the invitation to share on this quantum marketing topic. Little bit information. I'm not expert into this area because this is emerging. I'm basically from marketing background, but we all are learning. So whatever information I may understand and gather so far, whatever I have done, so I will be sharing. Later, of course, we can work further on this particular area. So thank you, Hani, for your introduction. Just a bit update also. That was a bit earlier introduction, update. So now, alhamdulillah, a bit more flavor already added in my profile. So I'm CPM, yes, proud to be certified professional marketer with the Asian Marketing Federation through Institute of Marketing Malaysia. In addition, I'm also certified international training specialist and chartered manager. So this is some sort of my background. But overall, my actually MBA is in marketing, MS also in marketing, major is, marketing, and PhD also in marketing. So I worked in industry also, started as a marketer, 5 to 6 years as a work, and then continue in academia and research. So my all so far publications are in the marketing journals as well. So my research is mainly on value co-creation, training also in value co-creation, social intelligence, design thinking, and so forth. So this is some sort of further addition. Okay, now I think I'm not sure, but I'm expecting that majority over here are somehow associated with marketing, either as an academic or also at least they have CPM. So you know about marketing evolution, but I will have a quick recap of marketing past so that we can set the tone for our present time and future of marketing actually. So as you can see, marketing is actually evolved from economics, but I will not go into that history. I would like to directly go with our new topic, but reflecting that is very important so that we know that why there are changes and why these changes are paramount and what we can expect further. So if we see 1950s to 70s, it is called product-centric era, where mostly the focus was on customer product especially, and also some sort of customer experience, but these were not that much at that time. It was more on the product feature and benefit approach. If 1970 to 1990s, then services came in and the brand building period came in, and that time mostly the research and the practice revolved around brand building, about services and consumer behavior. Then 1990s onward till 2010, internet revolution, it changed how brands communicate with customers. And 2010 to 2020, we have seen the evolution of experience economy, more omni-channel journeys, and AI personalization already emerged. Today, AI become more famous because of this ChatGPT and OpenGen, but AI was already there from past 20 years, but the implication in marketing somehow started in 2010 and onward with the integration of omni-channels and more personalization efforts, especially when it comes to smartphone technology. At that time, marketing already started embedding the AI personalization. But today, 2020 onward, we are more into advanced era. Fifth paradigm. This fifth paradigm represents not evolution, but complete revolution in the marketing approach, which is called quantum marketing. Now, why this is important? The first paradigm, what we learned from first paradigm. So from first paradigm, we managed to understand the logic of customers, rationale choices, and what type of product we design. So this helps us to understand the basic logical philosophy of the consumers, and eventually what kind of products or what kind of basically solutions that can be provided to them. And then when we realize that it's not only about the features that people are looking for, how can we make it better? How can we build memories? So then in the second paradigm, we mostly, the marketing word, the business word started connecting emotionally, emotional connection and brand identity and the relationship orientation and storytelling and those kind of campaigns started, so that the people don't think about the product, but they start thinking or start choosing or start giving value to the brands. Third paradigm change basically is something that help further the same concept, evolution. That's why we said evolution, because it's not obsolete but is evolving. So product converted to a more on the brand emphasis. And then third paradigm, digital disruption, help to facilitate companies in terms of connecting with the brands and consumers through interactions, through social media, And now we talk about data analytics, we talk about audience segmentation. Earlier, the segmentation was 4 segmentation strategies, conventional, but now the AI is there helping us to do segmentation. So digital disruption helped us in revolving or reshaping or evolving or modernizing the existing brand and product approaches while connecting it better with our consumers and managing them and helping us to better understand them. In the 4th paradigm, help us to connect with the customers. Today we talk about customer engagement a lot, which was not in the 1990s, that time more on the product, but today we talk about customer engagement and experience. Take an example of Changi International Airport. What are they selling? The basic fundamental purpose of airport is to provide transportation from one destination to other. But if any one of you, and I hope many of you have visited that Changi International Airport, if I ask one simple question from that airport, what you remember? Can anyone give me answer? One simple answer. What you remember from Changi International Airport?
Waterfall.
Waterfall. The trees, right? The bridge. All those which are not related to airport at all, but it's about something which is totally unrelated. So the purpose of that, bringing all those basically new services, is to have an engaging experience for the customers, and eventually transportation become a one subset of that whole experience. People don't go there to travel. People go there with families, with kids, to spend time, to enjoy the beauty which is inside a one dome building. There are 10,000 plus trees actually, and those all are real. What tree has to do with an airport, right? Conventionally, but due to all creating a new mindset of new consumers, which they are basically calling an experience engagement. So airport came up with that kind of idea. Now, this particular 4th paradigm help us to further think on how can we bring those kind of innovation in terms of creating unique experience and engagement with our customers, memorable experiences. Then here the 5th paradigm came, which is quantum marketing. I will highly suggest you to read this book for more detail, which is on quantum marketing, mastering the new marketing mindset for tomorrow's consumers. You can find it out on Google, Amazon, written by Raja Manir. Raja Manir is Chief Marketing and Communication Officer of MasterCard. And he has given a various, almost 5 different views of quantum marketing. Okay, so that is in more detail, but I picked up some material from here and some for other researches, and I try to make a brief understanding of this particular concept. But of course, more detail, we can refer to this book plus other as well. Now, this 5th catalysis, making traditional marketing obsolete. Traditional marketing obsolete. What he argued that seismic shift have shattered the old marketing model, necessitating the quantum leap. How? Number 1, catalysis 1, the attention recession. What is, we were talking about creating customer attention, retention, then after attention, those theories, earlier theories talk about how to create a customer attention. Core problem is consumers are now bombarded with thousands of messages daily. How can we have attention? Twitter, we talk about X today, we talk about Instagram, we talk about TikTok. So the moment in your smartphone you open, you are bombarded with WhatsApp, and under WhatsApp you have thousands of groups. So too much information. How and what are the things that can help us to create attention? Number 1, that is one problem. Result is what? Breaking through the clutter is nearly impossible. That is the result, because information is too much and we have less time. We are too busy. Number 2, the advent of ad blockers. Millions use technology to avoid ads. Now, even on YouTube, we can buy premium model. Many people who love watching dramas on YouTube, they will buy premium model to avoid ads. So if we are talking about creating ad, to attract our customers, people are using blockers. So the foundation of digital advertising is crumbling as a result, because there are on one side the businesses are coming up with advertising, another business is coming with creating ad blockers. So there's also growing. Number 3, the rise of streaming, OTT. No more cinemas. People skip commercials. Live TV declines. Result, mass reach TV ads are becoming ineffective. So what to do if that is becoming ineffective? People skip advertisement and commercials. Should we continue doing the same? And finally, data privacy regulations. The general data protection regulation make third-party cookies obsolete. So the result is data backbone of traditional targeting is crippled. So when this, on one side, we are talking about innovation, we're talking about digitalization, we're talking about moving towards digital marketing, our companies must have to do digital marketing, but we have seen problem there and we have seen result over there as well, that it's not going to be sustainable because there are, on the other side, many other basically outcomes are coming. So AI and voice assistant we have seen. I asked this very simple question to many people in my classes or trainings, that how many of you, when you would like to interact with chatbot versus personal, people don't prefer to go with chatbots. They still prefer human interaction when it comes to business. So then when we talking about bringing AI in our media, in our websites, right? Screenless interfaces like Alexa have no space for banners. A fundamental rethink of ad space is required now, and how to engage customers in that particular situations. Now, what is the next P? We were talking about product. We have seen product-centric era, but limitation. Price, place, promotion, 4 Ps. We talk about services marketing, there are 7 Ps, but fundamental still marketing mix we call 4 Ps, which is for the overall products. Now, the quantum marketing came up with the 5th P, which is a purpose. Product, price, place, promotion, and purpose. Modern consumers, especially young generations, expect brands to have a clear, authentic purpose beyond profit. Marketing must now integrate this purpose into everything it does, making it a core business strategy, not just a communication tactic. Because as I said, on one side, we have so many digital marketing opportunities. On the other side, there are so many blockers and people are not willing to chat on chatbot, not willing to watch advertisement on YouTube. They are trying to basically going with premium version. So if we continue using the same 4 Ps, we may not be able to reach to our right audience. But if we do it with purpose, find out the exact segment and right strategy of finding the right segment through a right purpose, we may be able to overcome that particular problem. So what quantum marketing is coming out, what kind of purpose and what kind of revolution is that? Revolutionary mindset. It represents a revolutionary mindset that integrates this emerging technology with deep human psychology. As digital marketing is focusing on technology, quantum marketing said, yes, fine, technology is super important now, but we need to have a deep human psychology together integrated with it so that we can create immersive, multi-sensory experience. If we remove deep human psychology, the same thing happened as just now I mentioned earlier. Through this, science meets art. There are many articles in early stage when we were talking about or reading about marketing, that whether marketing is science or art. So there is a debate. Some said it is science and some says it is art. But in quantum marketing, science meets art. Marketing becomes a precise science while maintaining creative artistry and execution. So it becomes an integration of science and art. It helps in moving beyond traditional advertising to creating a multi-sensory brand encounters. And consumers willingly engage with brands rather than being interrupted by messages. Why willingly? If we saw quantum marketing, why willingly? Because focus is not on only using technology, digital technologies, rather is on deep human psychology, empathizing with the consumers and picking up through technology, of course, using technology, but picking up the consumer psychology as a primary focus, and then using technology to facilitate in terms of reaching to the right ideas at the right time for the right product, help us to overcome that particular problem. So quantum marketing is a new term, is term for a new complex reality, where customer journey is no longer a funnel. We talk about funnel, right? Customers start with the bigger planning, and eventually he is deciding and going and purchasing and finally disposing. But it is now chaotic web. It's not about funnel anymore. It's driven by AI and data to create personalized experiences in real time. Real time, not about so much about the descriptive demographics anymore, descriptive demographic segmentation anymore. It's about real time, which more on the psychographic segmentation becoming more super important in the time of quantum marketing. And the goal is deep long-term loyalty, not just a single sale. So how the quantum comes in, we have seen quantum physics and then quantum computing. So quantum marketing, the concept is coming from the same mindset called like super fast and super smart computers called quantum computers. Those big theories, big coding, big modeling of quantum computings are being used in the marketing, in understanding the market and defining the marketing strategies. So it's basically coming from quantum computing, but being implemented into the marketing world, with the main mission is that businesses can use them to advance the computing system to get deeper insight into customer preferences, number 2, behaviors, and number 3, trends. As I said, conventional segmentation is demographic, geographic, that is fine. But now with this, we talk about consumer preferences, psychographics, behaviors, and most importantly, trends. If you talk about these as Gen Z, you will notice their trend of this, what we call it, dressing is quite different. They are inspired by K-dramas. But one customer, one particular segment is inspired by K-dramas, is a right segment for me to target if I have baggy jeans and baggy uppers. But another segment of same age, studying in same university, is no more watching or not watching K-dramas, is not my right target for selling baggy jeans or baggy uppers, because they are not inspired by these trends. So if I will only use demographic as an age, as a segment like 20 to 30, and I have this particular product to sell, this may not work, because one group is seeing K-drama as a trend, the other group is seeing Turkish drama as a trend. How I will know that? So quantum computing can help me to know that which particular segment is watching what kind of dramas. And from that particular data, 3D printing, AI technology, smart speaker, robotic, all these mix of technology can help me to find out the real target. And accordingly, I can come up with the right innovative strategies. Okay, here I will pause for a while. Have any question, or I should go first and then leave the time for the question? If anyone... Let me check box. Okay. Okay. Can anyone tell me, emoji, if you are still there so that I can know? Okay, perfect. All right. Then, okay, no problem. Okay, I will continue. Then I will basically come back for the Q&A. Okay, now, quantum marketing revolves around many concepts, as I mentioned, coming from quantum computing. So we talk about product marketing, emotional marketing, neuromarketing. I have done research on neuromarketing. I got one grant, and also one of my PhD student graduated from neuromarketing. The good thing about neuromarketing is that, let's say, if you are watching a drama or movie in a cinema, the moment customers come out and we would like to know that how was the experience of watching this particular movie. So if we talk about conventional measures, the person will say either good or bad, or he can up to maximum can give me 5-point Likert scaling. But let's say if he is giving a rating bad, for example, or low, not happy, I'm not sure that which particular scene I need to improve. One option is whole movie fail. But second option is it's not about that. There might be some scenes which this particular customer didn't like, due to which he is grading it as a low or not good or negative actually. So subjective measures, subjective marketing techniques cannot help me to measure that particular part. So the neuromarketing helped me. Let's say if I'm using EEG, electroencephalography, on the consumer brands while they are watching, the moment he liked the scene versus the moment he do not like the scene, this EEG electroencephalography will capture the real-time data. And the moment real-time data is captured, when I do my programming, I do my analysis, I will be able to figure out which particular scene is not good or not effective and is creating a negative experience. I can improve my scene. I can remove this particular scene if this is coming repetitively for multiple consumers. So the neuromarketing approach can help us to read the brand and collect the near real-time data, and we can devise the effective strategies rather than just making a strategy based on the subjective experiences, which might not be good or true. So neuromarketing and then data-driven marketing, digital and social media marketing. So now when we mix it up or we integrate them up, this is what we call quantum again, integrating technology and psychology. So the data is coming from your psychology, data is coming from brain, data is coming from your real experiences. And with the quantum computing effect, we are able to see the data from a different lens to figure it out, what is right, what is not right, what need to be improved, where we need to improve, and what should be done next level. So that is how this is going to help us to understand the market differently, to help us to devise the marketing strategies differently. Customer journey, as I said, is super important. It's not going to obsolete. We need to read, we need to understand the customer journey throughout, right? But more analyzed way, more on the on the go way, so that we can engage right customers in a right way. Now, how it differs if we only stick with our traditional marketing? What can be, what basically are the differences between traditional approach of marketing and quantum approach? As in the traditional approach, when I say traditional approach, it is coming from product-centric to brand-centric to experience-centric, conventional, and even some sort of digital marketing. I mean, if we only rely on digital marketing included in it, that we rely on the past data. We rely on the past data. But in quantum, we use the real-time data analytics. Past data can help us to understand the past trends. But as earlier I mentioned, consumers are continuously evolving. Experiences and trends are continuously evolving. So past data may not be that much important only without understanding or without coming with the real data. So past is a funnel. Traditional linear journey is a funnel coming from a very big perspective of planning to eventually purchase and post-purchase experiences. But quantum customer journey is like hybrid. It's like a spaghetti. It's like connected. It's no more funnel. It's not a linear. Is a nested, like a blockchain technology is one of them, also helping us in the quantum marketing. So this is what the blockchain example. When we see any product like this one, I said, for example, here you can see here, this is mentioned halal. Okay, here I can see halal logo. Now this halal, I trust on this halal logo. That's why I said this is halal. But in the linear funnel, this, for example, at this particular stage, it was halal. But on the way, when it comes to processing, if the real consideration was not taken, halal consideration was not taken into account due to any reason, eventually the end result which I received may not be halal, despite the logo is halal. But as a customer, I don't have power to see, I don't have opportunity to see whether this passed through all these stages, halal stages or not. Very simple example came into my mind when it is in front of me. But in the nested journey blockchain system, we can easily track where it is halal, what type of measures were taken at that particular touch point, actually. So that is how we can also see from the blockchain perspective that how this is going to facilitate us in not only in a funnel, but is a nested model. So few features I would like to explain so that we can have a clear difference of traditional versus quantum approach. We talk about data utilization. Traditional, including digital marketing, we talk about historical data and demographic. But in quantum, we talk about real-time data analytics and advanced algorithm to analyze the vast amount of data, more personalized and predictive targeting. My earlier example of K-drama versus local dramas, the fashion industry of Gen Z, I think this is one of the example we can relate here, the more personalized. When we talk about approach to personalization, in the traditional, we often limit to basic demographic, 20 to 30 years of age, 30 to 50, 50 to above, right? But in quantum, we focus on hyper-personalization, tailor messaging, experiences using dynamic and real-time insight. Campaign, how can we optimize campaigns? We have a marketing campaign, so many campaigns, right? In traditional, campaigns are planned in advance. Okay, next year we're going to launch this campaign. Our first opening will be in KLCC. We will execute it after that in Penang, and we are going to have this schedule next in Johor, right? But quantum said, we don't know what is going to happen in February next year because future is very, very, very much unpredictable. 2 years back, 3 years back, we were not that much aware about AI. Today, we are much aware about AI. So this quantum says emphasize continuous optimization through real-time monitoring, adjustment, and customer interaction and feedback. Continuous involvement, because advanced planning should be there, but we need to have a real-time monitoring throughout. We cannot just prepare plan and wait and just implement anymore. Engagement and interaction. In traditional one-way communication, we talk about personal selling, limited opportunities for customer engagement. Just giving example, we have so many housing schemes in Malaysia. You may have noticed that many of the housing societies, they construct building, the houses in a same style, same design, and they are very fast. Within 6 months, they can construct the whole society. But if you go and see I'm not talking about Klang Valley because the competition over there is a bit different, but if you go with suburban areas, you will notice that many of the houses are empty. And eventually after 4 to 5 years, still nobody, and then there will be a lot of trees and sometimes jinn stand over there. Question is, what is the reason why the takers are less as compared to the builders in suburban areas? Why? Because one way, designer think that this is the best design I came up with without consulting consumers, no customer engagement. But in the approach of customer engagement and interaction, we talk about co-creating value with customers. We talk about two-way interaction, fostering dialogue. It's not about creating value, it's about co-creating value, where instead that you design as a designer, you bring customers in your design process, asking them what kind of design you like. One family may like 2 rooms, other may like 4 rooms. Why not to develop what the 4-room family versus 2-room family? Instead, we design one kind of design and then fix it for whole 50 to 100 houses, and then eventually Even people shift over there, they are not still happy. So that's why we talk about personalized experiences and feedback loops. This is coming from system thinking approach. Feedback loops, continuously system dynamic and system thinking approach help us to know how can we capture the feedback loops in order to have a two-way interaction and engaging consumer with the brands. And customer journey, as I said in the previous picture I've shown you, is a linear, predefined path. But here is a non-linear and dynamic nature of customer journey, where adaptive strategies with multiple touch points, connectivity, the picture you can see, visualize it back, various touch points, blockchain kind of system can help us to connect with the brand, with the supplier, with the distributor, with the manufacturer, and with the intermediaries. We are able to see what is happening at what level. Today, a very simple example, we order anything from Shopee. We know my now device is coming, is in Ocean now. Second day is now Port Dickson. Third day is Klang Valley. Fourth day in Ipoh. Fifth day is in, for example, UTP, if I'm talking about UTP, right? So we are able to see every touch point. So that is what the new move is, and we have to, and we are into that particular word. Now, risk tolerance and experimentation in the previous are traditional. We relies on proven tactics and we minimize risk. But here, not proven tactics, but is more on the experimentation and innovation, leveraging the real-time data for the new approaches. And we are talking about calculated risk taking. Minimize risk, okay, fine, we can minimize the risk, but minimize risk not easy. We have to go with the calculated risk taking, because we have to work in sprint. Agile marketing methodology is now in the move. No long-term marketing strategies, but sprint-based, calculated risk. So sprint methodology help us to have a calculated risk at every sprint of our strategy. And finally, measurement and attribution. In the traditional marketing, rely on the traditional metrics, such as we talk about reach and impression. How many likes I received from YouTube video, for example. How many click-through rates I have got, for example. Or my post is seen by how many people. Digital marketing do that, still do that. But Quantum said, focus on more holistic measurement and attribution models that capture the full impact of marketing efforts across multiple channels and touch points, including offline interaction and long-term customer value, because this touch, the click and the visibility or impressions may not result into actual sales and actual outcome. That's why in addition to these impressions, the digitalization, we talk about human connection, which means we have to also see the offline interaction. So that will shape the way we are using our digital marketing into a new, by bringing the empathizing aspect and the deep human psychology in it. I will refer you to read this article, Forget Newton, It's Time for Quantum Marketing, written by Ben Essen. You can Google and find it out. What he came up with, the idea is that marketers are stuck in Newtonian mindset, obsessed with precision, linearity, and control. But today's consumers behave more like quantum particles, which are unpredictable. Quantum particles are not unpredictable, and consumers are also unpredictable now, entangled and shaped by the context. So it's time to shift the model. You can get this article online. Is basically, so this is telling us that how consumers are behaving like a quantum particles in a different way. So Newtonian mindset of our analogy of traditional marketing is more rooted back to the classical physics, but quantum approach is more on the quantum physics. And mindset in the traditional is broad-based, or broadcast-based, actually, mass broadcasting. Here is more on the personal conversation. Customer journey is linear, but here is a non-linear. Targeting, the segmentation and targeting strategies, we talk about demographics, but here we talk about psychographic, intent, and behavioral context. One to many, but here one to one. Dialogue-based, co-creation based, one-to-one, personalized. My early example of K-drama, one-to-one. Channels, we talk about this traditional channels and traditional marketing, radio, television, and print. But now we talk about AI chatbots, mobile, email, but all these are integrated. Measurement is lagging indicator, sales, how many sales we managed to achieve or what is our market share. But here, in addition to sales, we talk about engagement, clicks, and conversion. How many conversion we receive from each click. So pace is slow. Here is a always on and real time. Brand is in control in the traditional marketing, but here consumer is in control. In the traditional marketing, brand is in control, but consumer is not. But here we are talking about co-creating because we are working closely with them on a deep human psychology. That's why we can control the consumer. Why? Example. As I said in my house example, if you plan the design together with the customers, you already got buy-in even before the house is ready. So consumer is in control. You are continuously updating him. You are involving him in planning and designing and development stage. Consumer is in control. But if you develop and deliver, consumer is not in control. Later on, we may not know whether it's going to happen or not. Neuroscience, as earlier I mentioned about neuromarketing. Neuromarketing is coming from neuroscience. Under neuromarketing, there are many techniques. One, as I mentioned, EEG, electroencephalography. Other is human eye tracking, HET. Example, if in a shopping mall, you keep one camera, HET camera, not normal camera, but HET camera in a shelf, and you place different brands over there of chocolates. The moment consumer go there, and then one way is that you ask, okay, which chocolate you like the most, but that is subjective, the traditional marketing. But HET, if is installed over there, the moment you see that particular shelf, and the moment one of the customer started giving focus to one of the brand, the HET is going to capture that, where was his first focus, number one, and where was his deep focus, which brand he deeply focused on actually. So this can help to know which is the more preference branding or in terms of visuals and messaging that this particular customer liked the most. So this is what real-time data is. Let's say if we talk about this whole page that you can see over here, so is a big, if this is an advertisement, HET can help us to know which particular part of this slide you all are focusing the most. The moment I will know, I can make it better. The unnecessary text, I can remove it from the slide or from my advertisement, from my banner, because it is consuming unnecessary energy if I'm putting unnecessary, which is not being focused by the consumer. So this all can be done through neuroscience approach. So research says that 95% of purchasing decisions occur in subconscious mind, especially in this time. When 95% purchasing decision is in subconscious mind, is it wise not to study subconscious mind, or not to move, or not to bring those kind of emerging technologies that can help us to study that particular subconscious mind? I think that is paramount. Three core principles can help us to see the practical implication of quantum marketing in a better way. Number one, superposition. Customer is in multiple states at once. Even now, we are in this seminar. We might be thinking about our grocery in the evening. We might be thinking what I'm going to take in my lunch, how I'm going to finish in the next 10 minutes. On their phone, in your store, on social media, while WhatsApping, chatting, and so forth. Superposition, right? We must be present and consistent across all channels simultaneously. Same thing happen. Our customers are in multiple states at once. So what we need to do is we need to consistently present with them all the time simultaneously. The second principle, entanglement. Every customer interaction is deeply connected to the entire brand system. The earlier example, the blockchain I have shown you already, how the nested model it is, how connected it is. So the customer interaction is deeply connected to the whole brand system. It's not to only one-to-many approach that we used to have. Example, one bad review on Amazon affects your brand everywhere. Last week, I was purchasing something. When I gone through, there was a one bad comment. Believe me, I stopped particular product. I said, no, I don't want to, because there is one bad, this can happen to me. Okay, so that is the second principle, that we need to be much aware about that and care about that. Number 3, uncertainty principle. We can't know a customer's exact path, but we can predict and influence it. Why? We need to use predictive analytics to serve the right message before the customer even knows they need it. Before the customer knows they need it. Now, we talk about many of the brands, many of the new products, we were never aware about that. Before 2010, we were not sure what kind of mobile we want. Today, we are making choices. So the need is developed based on the predictive analytics. So now we talk about the Facebook owner, what we call it, Mark Zuckerberg. He is saying in future, in few years, there will be no need of smartphone at all. What he is talking about, the lenses that is going to connect us in a very different way, which is going to develop a very super experience, and we will not need smartphone. And this is what unpredictable, but those are predicting, and eventually the need will be created. So the challenge in superposition is that Starbucks example is a master of superposition. Their app is not just for payment. It's a platform that manages the customer's multiple stages in real time, creating seamless experience and capturing invaluable data. The challenge is what? Managing customer who is ordering, traveling, and redeeming rewards at once. But quantum solution is that mobile app connect all customer stats seamlessly, order and pay at home, locate an ETA in transit, and scan in the store. So in a very, very systematic way, how can we facilitate our customers in different touch points? What value is created? Frictionless customer experience of Starbucks, powerful loyalty and data lock-in, and hyper-personalized offer. Entanglement, we talk about Netflix, the best example. Keep user engaged in a saturated market. AI power recommendation engine. Every click, pause, and watch is entangled with the algorithm. The homepage and even video thumbnails are personalized for every use. We will only get what we have searched for, or we have watched, or we have paused. If we pause continuously, or we would like to skip, the Netflix will know what is my behavior, the change, dramatically increase watch time, and then eventually they will change, and next I will get the different. And finally, if we talk about Sephora, it brings all together. They use AR, a robust loyalty program, and data analytics, 3 things to create community-driven ecosystem. Superpositioning, how they do. Virtual artists try on at home. Even I downloaded that app and I try on at home. Wanted to experience. So it tell me what kind of lipstick suits me, though I never, use lipstick. But what kind of eyebrows will suit me, right? So virtual artistic. And then in-store scan, and then finally online pickup. So superpositioning, they implemented. Entanglement, beauty insider program ties all actions to personalized rewards. And finally, uncertainty, they use data to predict and recommend new products too. So next time when we open, whatever we search is going to give us that kind of experience. So finally, I will say quantum marketing with 4 experience pillars. Number 1, sensorial experience, engaging the 5 senses. As I said, the conventional demographic segmentation of course, it will be important, but is not everything. We have to engage 5 senses. Product and service experience need to be flawless and delightful. contextual and omni-channel experience need to be enhanced on every touch point, physical, digital, and non-linear customer journey. And finally, purpose-driven experiences, the fifth P that quantum marketing introduced so far, purpose-driven. Creating experiences that align with brand purpose and make the consumer feel they are part of something bigger. They are your co-creators. They are your partners. They are no more passive audience. They are active players. And eventually, we will be able to connect them in a personal level. So in order to embrace the mindset of quantum marketing, we need to embrace uncertainty. Need to accept complexity is inherent in our modern consumer behavior and consumer marketing dynamics. And we need to have a bold experimentation, testing new technologies. Neuromarketing, as I said, human-eye interaction, EEG, expensive, difficult tools. Getting data is difficult, but we have no choices. We need to go with bold experimentation. And personally, I feel that in our country here, we still lack this kind of actually experimentation. We don't have much neuromarketing implication in Malaysian market. Our retailing is still conventional. Now we have seen only the self-checkout counters, but the world is really so advanced. And third is hyper-personalization, creating consumer-centric experiences to tailor the consumer individual experiences. Okay, so I think this is some additional material that you can go through. My message is overall basically clear. According to research, and I refer you that book and also article that you can go and find out these facts over there, which I captured, that traditional metrics like click and impression fail to capture the depth of quantum marketing impact. So just now I have seen, is this different than digital marketing? There is a one question. So I will say that if we are taking digital marketing only on click and impression, which at this moment our Lazada and all those, for example, is seeing, like people are making impressions, like it, dislike it, or how many comments. So if we only limit our digital marketing to that one, then it is only limited to technology, not the deep human connection. But the application which are integrated like Sephora, Starbucks, which I mentioned, so they are using quantum approach. We are not only focusing on digital marketing, but also the deep human connection. And according to this research, that 85% engagement quality enhancement, time spent in immersive brand experiences versus traditional advertising exposure. The more we will get 85% engagement quality if we use the quantum approach. 67% test metrics increase in brand trust score through transparent purpose-driven marketing. 3.8 times more customer lifetime value as per this particular article that we can achieve if we go with the measuring our success through quantum marketing approach. So the future, we never know again. As I said a few years back, we were not aware where we are today, but what we can expect, that we are expecting immersive commerce. We talk about e-commerce, but now we talk about I-commerce, immersive commerce. So shopping experiences are evolving from browsing website to exploring virtual worlds where entertainment is becoming different. Even now, recently, 2-3 days back, one of our article accepted in Journal of Travel and Tourism Marketing, very high journal, Impact Factor 9, is on the metaverse co-creation experience scale. Later, I can share once it is ready, I think coming up in next month. What we did is basically we develop a new metaverse co-creation experience scale, newly developed that one. So what this is coming up is talking about metaverse, talking about avatar, virtual shows. So what we did in our tourism research is that, let's say while I'm sitting here, I want to see Cameron Highland. After seeing metaverse, what is my behavior? One option is I will be excited to go. Other is that I will say, I have already seen it, I don't want to go. Both have different impact on businesses. If all metaverse is being implemented and people are experiencing everything at home and don't want to eventually go. That is what I said, the quantum is important, because eventually quantum said we have to create that kind of experience that it's not only limited to virtual showrooms, but it turn into real purchases, it turn into real experiences. So it's not dominating on one side. So if people said metaverse is fine, I have seen it already, I don't need to go there, what will happen to the businesses over there? Small scale businesses will be impacted. So in that case, if we see it from that lens, then metaverse is actually negatively impacting the businesses on Cameron Highland. But if we are talking about quantum approach, we have to boost the metaverse. We also have to boost the small scale retailers at Cameron, right? How can we connect? What kind of that particular experience we are going to connect, and what kind of technology we need to use so that we can turn into reality. So virtual showrooms, 3D environment where customer explore in a realistic context, avatar shopping, social commerce, and instant fulfilling. Digital product delivered immediately within virtual environment. So this is what the immersive commerce is. So the future is of more competitive virtual brand world, brand communities, virtual events, and digital collectibles. All NFT is another important thing. One of my students did her research in undergraduate on NFT as well. But again, in Malaysia, we have less NFT, fungible tokens. So basically, upcoming, we can see, I think Uniqlo already started that NFT as well. So some of the new brands are talking about NFT implementation as well. So all in all, I will say that what we need to see from a holistic perspective is no more a linear funnel, is a nested model, and not only focusing on one side, which is human, or only on the digitalization, but we have to embrace the purpose, which is a fifth P, embracing the fifth shift, and we have to integrate human psychology with technology for revolutionizing consumer experiences. Investing thoughtfully in emerging technologies, which one is right for us, we need to choose. Otherwise, there are so many. So earlier I mentioned about blockchain technology, we talk about metaverse. So we need to pick up what is right for us and prioritize multi-sensory experience. And finally, building trust through transparency. So that's basically the end of my sharing, and it's exactly 1 hour completed. Now I would like to open for if there is any Q&A, then I will be happy to answer if I can. Thank you so much. I know it was one-sided, but because of the time and the material was more, so if I have a dialogue kind of, I may not be able to cover. So that's why I plan to go one throughout, and then leave it now for any kind of discussion or any input. If you could, enrich our learning, please do so. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amjad, for sharing your knowledge with us today. It was certainly insightful, and we have some questions in the chat box for you, if you can read through them.
Okay, all right. So I think first one is the quantum marketing is an apps or system that we should install. Okay, so I think this by now, because this question came at 12:33, by now I hope this is already clear. So it's not one separate system or one app, rather is the integration of technology with deep human psychology. And this integration of technology include, as I mentioned, about metaverse, AR, VR, and blockchain technology, but it depending on what kind of technology we are going to use and how are we basically having a deep human connection. So what is criteria? So I give already example of Netflix and also Sephora. So I hope the first part is clear. If a business use a point of sale system, every customer data is captured. Once the data is analyzed, personalized marketing can be targeted for each customer. Is this quantum? Okay, thank you, Ms. Alia. So the point is very good that once we capture the data on one point of sale, right? So we analyze this data. Now, I hope, again, this came at 12:43. After that, I covered a bit more on this side as well, that past data, this is what we talk about, past data, which is brilliant. We cannot avoid from past data, but the real-time data, point of sale is done. That one is our lesson learned. But the real-time data based on the new trends that may change. So that's why conventional approach may not be able to help us to get the real-time data. Rather, if it is integrated with some sort of live real-time data capturing system, then of course this can be this can help and serve us as a guide for our future marketing strategy. So in conclusion, I will say that the Netflix example is one of the best in terms of personalized marketing that you mentioned just now here, that the moment you start watching and the moment you start skipping, the system of Netflix managed to understand my behavior, that what kind of person I am. Am I the K-drama favor? Am I the the trend seeker of some other kind of fashion or some other kind of dramas or movies or whatever, Hollywood, Bollywood, right? So this will read my behavior. Eventually, next time, I will be able to see personalized recommendation. Can we get the copy of slide? Yes, for sure. I will certainly share it with the IMM team so you can get it. Is there one brand that applied the quantum accessibility currently? Okay, this is a good question. Again, I will say there are many. Okay, of course, the name, they will not mention that, hello, we are implementing quantum marketing, right? So, but if we see the examples that I've shown to you, so the back processing is quantum marketing. And as I mentioned, quantum marketing is what? Is basically based on the quantum computing. And quantum computing is coming from cuboids. These cuboids are basically coming from super fast computing system. And same thing, when we explore or we as a human engage with those systems, this help us to understand our input, our behavior, our interest. So then this basically pick up those keywords and eventually start referring us to best marketing, our preferences. So in a way, many companies are using it, but we have to read their business model, and then we will be able to know that which one is using quantum, which one is using digital marketing, and of course the traditional and conventional are very clear as well. Okay, how to adopt this quantum to, okay, is this suitable for all business type? If a customer decided in last minute time, for example, decided not to buy because of other reason, can this quantum capture the reason why? Or okay, good question, but not to buy. Okay. This question number 3, point number 3 from Miss Elisa, I will say that if you are using human eye tracking, HET, or HET especially, for example, then you can read the facial expression of the consumers, and you can read and you can analyze the data to know that at what particular time the customer has changed his mind. But it's not easy to do so. Even EEG, as I mentioned, we can place here, but there are a lot of considerations that it's not so easy to capture that real-time data because there are so many interferences that can also disturb the data. So it's not, I will say, not easy, but is doable, and the companies are doing it. So we need to find out that what is our business. Now, another question is whether it is suitable for all businesses. I will say B2C is heavily impacted by this. B2B, the game is a bit different, but still, of course, there are considerations now. B2B, now public procurement regulatory authorities also now have online, even in the AI now, procurement systems are being changed. Earlier, the bidding system used to be conventional, but now many companies are adopting AI-based bidding evaluation. So if not now, but in the future soon, the B2B will be impacted by it as well. Are there any established marketing tools or principles specially designed for promoting services, given that services do not involve tangible products? Marketing tools or principles. Okay, actually, if we talk about services, services are integrated. Services have 4 characteristics. Services are intangible, inseparable, and perishable, and variable. So when we talk about perishability, perishable, one of the important thing about services is that services are produced and consumed at the same time. Like what I'm delivering, you are consuming. But if you go out, you don't have anything in hand. But product, when we go, we have something in hand. So now, when it comes to this perishability, so the live experience matters the most. My earlier example of this Changi International Airport, I think one of the best example over here, because the moment you go over there, you will build memories based on the perishable services that you are getting over there. The moment come here, if I ask you what you remember from there, you will say this A, B, C. Those are the live consumer experiences that you capture, the services that you capture. Eventually, you will remember that particular brand from those moment of the experiences actually. So of course, there are many strategies, but yeah, it can be a very lengthy discussion. Okay, all right. I tried to be on time, but still 11 minutes more, taking your lunch time. I'm so sorry for that. Any question, any input, any suggestion?
I don't see any more questions in the chat box, but if anyone has maybe 1 or 2 last questions, they can ask Dr. Amjad. Okay, they can also unmute and ask the question, but please remember to introduce your name and organization.
Okay, all right.
In the meantime, one of our audience asked about the slides of the recording. Okay, so for those who would like to own a copy of the recording and slides for today and all future IMM's webinars, you can sign up as an IMM member for 100 yearly subscription. The message is already in the chat box for your reference. Okay, then you can email the
Yes, those who are not IMM member or not a certified professional marketer, I will highly recommend you to be the part of it. Why? Because believe me, we talk about lifelong learning, and lifelong learning is about joining a community of like-minded people who can give you those kind of opportunities of learning together. So I am doing a lot of basically initiative, monthly webinar where we learn a lot and always something new. It's not that, we are already know everything in the world. Of course, every one of us learning a lot, right? Upcoming webinar is coming on 10 December. So if every webinar, if we pick up 1 or 2 new learning, we go and we explore it, that is going to add value in our knowledge. So I will say, if you are not part of it, be the part of it, and you will get a lot of opportunity of lifelong learning.
Oh, I agree completely, Dr. Amjad. In fact, as an IMM member, except having access to all the materials for our webinars, you can also receive discounted rates of about 15 to 20% for future seminars, conferences or in-house training programs. So I think it's very beneficial for all of you, especially if you want to start a commitment to, professional development or personal development in the future.
Yes, exactly. And secondly, now these days, it's no more only academic degrees. It's about professional certification, professional affiliation that matters the most. Especially if you are working in industry or would like to be a trainer or a consultant or working in industry, in addition to being a professor or lecturer. So I will say that is something which we really need it, and IMM certainly is one of the best pathway towards that. So I would definitely encourage all of you to be the part of it and join our upcoming CPM classes, CPM certification. I did it. I'm very, very satisfied. When I go for industry, when I mention CPM Asia, so people ask me, it add value to my credential despite having PhD. Sometimes people say that, okay, I have master degree or PhD, that is enough. I will say, no more enough. Really not enough. A lot. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it from my side. Thank you so much, Ms. Hani, for moderation, and thank you, Dr. Sharifa, for giving me opportunity of sharing.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amjad, for sharing your presentation and knowledge with us today. Personally, I think quantum marketing is a bit technical, but it is very insightful on how businesses should be, the direction businesses should take going forward. So we can all learn and take some points from there for our own development.
Yes.
Dato, there is a question in the chat box from Miss Noalia. What if my company is IMM's member? Dia tanya, I'm from ICMS.
Oh, boleh. Then we can. We will share the recording and what other information accordingly. Not to worry.
Okay, thank you very much. Like Dr. Abjad said, we've shared another couple of upcoming webinars here in December, Dato.
Yeah, we have two. One on the 10th of December and one on the 16th of December.
16th December. Okay, so do take this opportunity to sign up. Of course, don't miss this opportunity. We look forward to seeing you again in the future. So with that, we have come to the end of our webinar for today, everyone. Thank you again for your support and attendance. Please take care. Have a good day. Thank you, Dato. Thank you, Dr. Amjad.
Amjad, thank you, Hani. Thank you to all participants. Yeah.